Welcome back. Yeah, you know who it is. I've been a little out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? The guys have been doing the job for me, so I appreciate them. But it's your boy Clyde, and I'm back. And we got a great show tonight. Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Hey, mini camp is over. It's time to start talking about the season. What do we think? What's going to happen? We have no idea, but what we do know is Danny Dimes is currently in the lead. But before we get into all that, Sammy, start me up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
None of y'all can have decent headset. Clyde, we can't hear you. Chris, I can't hear you.
You can't. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
There you go. Oh, well, I was muted because we have to do that beforehand. But Clyde is muted for.
Clyde's just broke.
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Start us off, Chris. People are watching.
Well, welcome to the
we got things to do.
Show. All right. Let me. You told me to get started, and then you still talking. Let's go, man. Welcome to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. We're coming to you everything Colts, and like I said, we know that this is like the slower part of the season, but we're bringing you content anyway because we like to. You love for us too, so I don't see why not. So we're gonna start off with the crew. So I'm CJ. We got with us Big P. And then we also have all the way to the left or right, depending on where you're watching, Groucho Marx, Charlie Chaplin, if you will. Yes, we can hear that. We can hear that absolutely. We heard the Omaha. Omaha to your silence right now, Mr. Silent Hill. He's having an inner dialogue with himself. I'm not sure what's happening. For anybody who is listening, we don't know what's going on, but you know what? We're gonna. Oh, there we go.
There's something come through.
No, I was muted on the actual main stage. I don't know what that was about.
Oh, you're getting used to that whole technology thing?
First off, you're putting off a lot of energy for my return. Just too much.
We had to catch up for all the missed time.
Okay, Sammy. Let's definitely not put DI in the middle. That's not where he needs to be right now. Get him out of there. Appreciate you. Okay, so look here, man. I have missed a few shows, and I'm not going to hear about that tonight. So we'll just move on. I am Clyde on location, which means I'm actually in Indianapolis, but I do not have all of my things that I normally have when I'm in Texas. So just bear with me. I'm in my parents' basement. I am that guy, the 40-year-old in the parents' basement. Literally, that's where I'm staying.
He's got pizza rolls right next to him.
No pizza rolls. I just got a good old vitamin water. Hey, Teresa, long time no see. How you doing, love? Hope all things are well.
Hope you're feeling better.
Yes, be feeling better.
Big shout out to Teresa. She's been helping me with some photo issues I've been having. So thank you.
There's no fixing your face.
You mean using the camera on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's literally no fixing your face. So
at least she's trying. You're not doing nothing.
Yeah,
we gave that.
This shows coming in with janky ass equipment.
First off, all of my equipment is new. All my equipment is new. What I didn't know is that I was muted on the show. What's up, Joe? How you doing, boss? Anyway, nobody tuned in to hear us bicker, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, so you guys,
that'd be a good podcast.
Hearing you bicker?
Yeah, the bickering bitches.
Omaha yourself.
That's a solo project, by the way.
Giant facts.
Absolutely.
I would not be on the BB.
Yeah.
I would not be on the BB. But here we go. So yeah, the BB. The BB is not for CO.
Or CJ.
Or CJ, yeah. So here's the deal, man. Wild stuff over the last couple, I say week and a half, and you guys covered some good stuff. Change of the guard, all that stuff. But like that whole Anthony thing was so wild. Hey, the injury, second opinion, don't know when he's going to come back. Then Schefter and Rappaport come in over the weekend. Hey, he should be good to go by training camp. Blah, blah, blah. Danny Dimes looked great during OTAs. I don't know. Shane Steichen and him got a bromance or something, apparently. It looks like he's leading the charge as we sit, but we have not seen a lot of Anthony outside of those opening throws at the very, very beginning of the mandatory workout. So with that, I'll start with CJ because I know how absolutely what's the best word I can say here?
Against?
Okay, that's a soft way to put it. Against the signing you were. And then against the idea of maybe him being a starting quarterback. And shout out to Louise because, oh, my God, I think he's going to be in a conundrum if 17 trots out there week 1. But how are you feeling now? I mean, are you still just against Danny, or are you actually going to give him credit for what the little bit you've seen?
If you're telling me he's a great professional and that he studies, that's fantastic. I love that. That sounds great because those are all the things that you want him to be doing. But I have many years of actual evidence of the fact that whatever you believe Daniel Jones is going to do, no matter how high you hold this team of a standard or whatever it is, that's fantastic. It's not going to change the fact that he's Daniel Jones. Because at the end of the day, everything had to align perfectly and had to stay perfect for that. And the crazy thing about this team always has something going on. There's always some type of adversity. There's always some type of caveat. So the thing is, we're expecting somebody who needed everything to be perfect to come in and exceed even beyond the expectations. And then even beyond that, if for some reason something happens, we expect him to get us over the hump when he's never shown that he can go when his back's against the wall and prove that he's anything more than a stopgap or just basically a system guy.
Well, okay. And then there's the ones that say, well, what about Sam Bradford? Many years of having, or not Bradford. Is that his name? Sam Darnold. Jesus, where did I
that tells me a lot about your example. You can't even get the guy's name right.
No, and that was, I am fatigued. You have no idea, my friend. The job in my tail off. But no, going back to Sam Darnold. Yeah, I actually worked. Don't do that. I'm working 2 jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God! Look at you over exceeding expectations.
I'm a whole Jamaican out here. Y'all rise, Clyde, real the boy. Yeah, I'm out here doing my thing. But no, yeah, like so. Let's go back to Sam Darnold. Same thing was out on him, and then last year he goes and has a career year, gets him a whole new paycheck out in Seattle. I'm not saying 2 things are exactly the same, but high draft pick, Danny Dimes, high draft pick, Sam Darnold. Years of struggle, multiple teams, the whole thing, and it came around. Because what is this, year 6 for Daniel Jones? So he's not really old. What is he, 28 maybe?
27, 28.
Okay, so still a lot of football left in him. Uh-oh, Chris is feeding his dog again, or not feeding his dog.
No, she is reactive. But the thing is, but you know what? But I think before I kind of forget, isn't Sam Darnold's situation the same as Daniel Jones is in a way? Because Daniel Jones had 1 good year out of having 5 to 6 years that were utterly forgettable. And then on top of that, everything had to be aligned almost perfectly in order for him to show that he could actually do it. Because Sam Darnold went to a team where you had the best wide receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson. And if you don't believe he's the best wide receiver in the league, argue with your mother. And then you have Jordan Addison. Then you have TJ Hawkinson. You have Aaron Jones underneath who can both run and catch out the backfield. And you have the best situation that you have with Kevin McConnell or O'Connell. I never get it right. Connell.
KOC.
Yeah, there you go. KOC or KMC. I don't know. But either way, he went to, and mind you, Kevin O'Connell is the QB whisperer. It is because, mind you, Kirk Cousins, he spent all those years in Minnesota, and he looked like he was absolutely good, beyond serviceable, everything that you would expect him to be. And then on top of that, guess what? He went over and he actually did well when he had 6 years prior where he showed that he definitely was possibly not worthy of being part of that first round draft. So now you actually have to sit back and say, is this something that is going to be system dependent? Does everything have to be aligned perfectly in order for this guy to be good? Because for me, I don't want that. I want a quarterback who I know if things break down, will he be able to step up? And that's not Daniel Jones.
Okay, Patrick, you haven't said nothing.
It wasn't my turn.
Well, what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are lining up right there with Chris.
I feel like you never have your own set of thoughts.
Well, if you would have asked me first, Chris's thoughts would have lined up with mine. So
Nah, I've been pretty consistent.
This is the thing.
I need that sign.
Chris
Come on,
said,
son.
we seen what he can do on the field for the last 6 years in New York.
Mhm.
It's cut mid-season. Now that he's at OTAs with no pads on and no one trying to rip his head off, he's making throws. I don't trust it. I trust what I've seen so far.
Wait a minute.
I'm not just trusting that these throws he's making at minicamp. I'm not sold on him. Now look, don't take me wrong. If he's on the field and he's our quarterback, I'm cheering for him. Absolutely. I want to win. So I want every one of our guys to do well. But I'm telling you right now, I do not trust this guy. I think when the pocket collapses, and it collapses on every team, don't care if you're the number one offensive line in the NFL, it collapses within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
He is running and he's lost. He doesn't know what to damn do. I'll stick with an injured AR. At least we can trust his legs.
Okay, hold on. Yes, it's too late for yours because yours is terrible. But here's the deal. Now, is that totally fair, Pat? Because we were absolutely enamored with watching AR throw with no pressure and all that before I didn't say it. I broke my Anthony. We were enamored with Anthony. I told you he has to earn AR from me. We were enamored with Anthony throwing prior to the shoulder.
Not true.
Flaming. Yes, we were.
Not true.
Oh my goodness.
I believe both me and Chris brought up the point that there was no pressure on neither one of them.
Come on, son.
I'll go back and get the footage because I know I don't watch mini camp and say, oh, he's the best thing.
This wouldn't
because there's no pressure on him, and that's what we got into. There's no pressure on these guys. How's he going to handle the pressure? We said this when we was talking about Anthony throwing at minicamp. Great. And I believe I brought up his footwork looked good. That's what I was looking at because I didn't care about his throws because there was no pressure. So, yeah, you can back that horse up, put it back in the stall because you ain't riding that one on me.
Pause. Giant pause. Anyway, Omaha and all the things.
No,
but,
you.
Thank you. Yes, 3 times. However, but what I will say is this. Then what's the point of minicamp? What are we watching? Because nobody's hitting anybody. Nobody's under real pressure. Why do we even care?
Because minicamp is generally there for teams who already have things in place, who are introducing new players, new schemes, new things into it. Minicamp for us is different because we're in the midst of what you can call or what we have to call a quarterback competition. That's the only reason why these things matter, because everything that's done all the way from when Daniel Jones was signed to right now has determined who is going to be the person who's going to potentially be the week 1 starter. So it's going to be between AR and it's going to be between Daniel Jones. But the biggest thing is going to be, how are these guys connecting when it comes down to the weapons that are on the field? Who's connecting with Tyler Warren, who was our number 1 or who was our first round pick? Everything that we do, everything that we see is strictly so that we get an idea of what this competition is looking like right now and what the rest of these guys are. But more so for me personally, I'm looking at who's forming the best chemistry with the players that we have on the field? Is it AR, who's already been here, who's had the opportunity to play with everybody besides Tyler Warren? Or is it Daniel Jones just coming in and making sure that he's building chemistry with each individual piece that's out there?
Okay.
I'll tell you this right now. Rookie minicamp is so those rookies can get introduced to the playbook. OTAs is so the veteran comeback guys can get used to the playbook with new schemes in it. And it gives the rookies an extra chance to go through the motions. That way, when they send them home for the summer, they know what they're studying and why they're studying.
That's fair.
That's why you have minicamp. It's for the playbook. That's it.
Okay, fine. But we're still missing a major piece here. The major piece is this is about 2 quarterbacks. Period. That's it.
Not right now, it's not.
It should be, because when we go to training camp, I mean, sure, they're going to be in pads and there's going to be some little pressure, but nobody's hitting them.
Okay.
You can't hit them.
Do you really think that the coach, the GM, and everybody else is watching rookie mini camps and grading each one of these quarterbacks and actually started the competition?
Yeah.
No. No.
They said the competition started.
It's backyard football, Clyde. It doesn't count.
It does count.
Okay.
So we can.
Someone throws an interception in this camp. That's a negative on him, right?
It should be, because what are you saying?
No, so here's what I'm going to say to you, Pat. It does. The reason why it does is because what do we have going on right now, right? We have Daniel Jones who's coming in. Now, if Daniel Jones, let's just say, is having trouble connecting with wide receivers and he's throwing interceptions to the defense, that's an indictment on the fact that Daniel Jones might just not be the guy. Even if you just go ahead and just have him on a 1 year, because ultimately everything that's happening right now is determining who's going to be the quarterback for this year. Now, if for some reason Daniel Jones is playing awful throughout here, then it's almost assured that he's going to be the backup unless AR is just hurt for the season or something catastrophic happens.
I 100% disagree. I think if you go into mini camp and you just have a bad mini camp, you can redeem yourself at training camp.
Sure, you
where
can.
It actually counts.
No,
Sure,
absolutely.
But they already gave the on your mark, the set, go start of competition. Both Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen.
Okay,
so they're watching everything. Okay, prime example. This is why it matters holistically. But then this is how us as fans get carried away. Prior to Anthony being shut down, one of the writers that we have a relationship with, Jake Arthur, wrote, "Tough day for Anthony. He looked erratic over the middle. He threw an interception or two, blah, 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 all this other stuff." And that went viral, repost, reshare. Oh, he's the same. It's never going to change. Cut the guy, blah, 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 blah. The reason why I even bring that up, because as fans, no, we don't get to dictate anything. But what I'm trying to tell you, the writers, that's their whole damn job, are telling the story from what we can't see. So it matters. Because why report it if it doesn't matter?
Because there's nothing else to report.
Omaha, this man, right now. Give it to him.
You know I'm right.
No.
Well, no.
Okay, so it matters. If it matters a minute amount.
Dude, training camp is only 3 weeks. So you try to tell me all the work from April to July when it starts is just nothing, and then in 3 weeks you got a job or you don't? Absolutely not, Pat. Like, what? That's crazy. Everything in the offseason matters. The way you carry yourself, the way you're showing, hey, I know the playbook. I know, like, all the stuff you're supposed to be doing in the offseason. As soon as you put your card in the first time to come into the facility for the following year, you're being watched. So, I mean, didn't we have that problem as a unit, as a collective, as a team last year? The leaders wasn't leading. People were just kind of like, oh, I'm secure in my spot. I'm just here. Like, that was one of the big knocks on our team. Nobody's like, I'm just here just to be here. And Yeah, in July I'll get serious. Like, nah, man.
Okay, let's move on.
Oh, okay, well, now your feelings are hurt. It's okay. Baby.
My feelings aren't hurt, but this one's not going to go nowhere, and we got other shit to talk about.
Not really. We really don't. So cut the
really don't.
He said no.
Really don't.
No, we
You're
don't.
like, you out here BSing the crowd. No, we don't.
Yeah, no, we don't. Yeah.
Hey, bring Teresa's comment back up. Teresa, girl, we love you. But let's stop this. Okay, it's too early. It's too early to say we don't have a guy, love. Okay. Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Long time.
Listen, man. All right, look. Let's just be 100%. I'm not gonna BS you. There's 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL currently. Well, you could say 31 because we don't have one. We don't have a starter named yet.
Hey, Sammy, can you please bring that last comment from Teresa back up so we can just talk about the fact that Clyde just counteracted? We don't have a guy.
We do have a guy. We just don't know who the guy is. So what I'm saying is, let me make my point, CJ. Man, y'all are a rough crowd to come back to. You know that?
Good.
Shit.
You should have been here before. We would have picked up where we left off.
Middle fingers to both of you, and that's my fourth finger. That's the ring finger. Anyway.
Oh, I thought those were pinkies. Same thing.
Oh, that was a good one.
That's fucking hilarious. Okay, no, but trying to stay on track with these crazies. Look, man, of the starters in the NFL right now, how many are definite game changers, winners? We know with this guy under center, we're going to the playoffs. Let's be honest. You don't have to name them. Just give me a roundabout number.
I'm going to say 10, 12.
It ain't half. So what I'm getting at is there's a lot of teams that may feel like we don't have the guy. You know, the Raiders might feel like that after they brought in Geno Smith, or, you know, you got other Sam Darnold might not be the guy in Seattle after all, or whatever it might have you. What I'm trying to say is it's a team game. The quarterback is the focal point. I am not going to sit here and pretend like that doesn't matter, but we did a lot on defense. We still have a great running game. Our receivers are not as bad as maybe advertised. Between these two guys, we're in a place where I feel like we can start putting things forward and making things happen. We just got to, as fans, as a fan base, we just got to have a little bit of like actual, like, I don't even know, like positive optimism. We struggle for that. We're the most pessimistic fan base. Maybe Indy as a whole, because you can go to my Pacers right now. A week ago, we were great. Today, after the loss, it's like, oh my God, we're the worst team to ever play. As Indy as a whole, like, we're so damn pessimistic. Just give us a chance. Just give us boys a chance. That's all I'm saying. Just give them a chance.
I want to say we can absolutely say yes, we need to be patient, but the problem is that we are patient into an 8-year rebuild.
Not even patient, just optimistic.
But that's the thing. But like optimism is being able to say, I'm confident going into this season that whoever we have at quarterback, we absolutely are going to win, and we should be in position to be in playoffs. Okay,
but what does that look like though? Like when I say like what is that?
When you have to ask questions like that, that's when you know it's just like no. we have some things. like that question alone, just be like, what does that look like? What do you mean? What does that look like? It's a start, period, end sentence that is very, very simple.
But it's any given Sunday is what I'm saying. So even teams that might have that, you know, confidence, you know, they're real boisterous when the season starts, they end up falling flat on their face. Look at the Niners last year. How did the Niners go from being what they were to that crap show? And for the most part, their injuries, yes, they started happening as the season progressed. I mean, you could start with CMC not starting the season, but still, they still had the same team that was like fighting in the Super Bowl, fighting for the Super Bowl.
Well,
they still had the same team.
There's a lot of reasons why, but I mean, that's something for a whole nother time. But we can just boil it down to the fact that when you take away all those weapons, when you take away your Swiss Army knife at CMC in the backfield, and forced you to actually be mortal, where you don't have Brandon Ayuk, where you had games where you didn't have George Kittle, where you didn't have even Deebo Samuel at times. Like you had all those things. So, but the thing is, this is also kind of speaking to that point again. When everything's breaking down, do you have a quarterback that you'll be able to win with, even when you know for a fact that everything isn't aligned? And that showed last season, even though Brock Purdy got the bag, that showed when everything was breaking down, that team wasn't able to deliver.
I'm telling you right now, man, this, to me, my optimism says, even with a potentially, slow-paced Anthony based off of his injury, this is a much better feeling for me, and you can put this on record, with them two coming in, talking Danny and Anthony, than it was ever Jacoby and whoever, Carson Wentz and whoever, Gardner Minshew and whoever, Nick Foles and whoever. Like, all of them. The only other person I say I was more confident with just for a single season, though I could not stand the guy, is Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett were the two guys that year. And I was like, damn, Phillip Rivers at 37 or whatever the hell he was at the time. I was like, he got the funky motion. He can't move. Arm strength is gone. But I knew he could still play. Matt Ryan, I think I kind of fell a little bit, but I was like, 28-3, that's always going to haunt him. And it definitely haunted him when he got here. So I say that to say a younger Danny Dimes and Anthony, I'm more confident since Andrew Luck has left. I will say that. With those two, for what it's going to be.
But are you confident because of the quarterbacks, or are you confident because of the team around them?
I think it's 50-50. Definitely the team has improved. Defensively, hell yes. There's a lot of things you can get done with a short field, right? If this defense can start making turnovers like we were 3-4 years ago, in the heyday of, Shaq Leonard and all the things, and give us some short fields, or they can, present a lot of 3 and outs and give us more opportunities to have the ball, then yes, because football, just like basketball, but probably even more, slightly more, is more about momentum, in my opinion. Momentum can do a lot for you, like in a football game. Big hit, big play, fumble, interception, quick turnover, whatever may have you. Now we move and get a ball to Jonathan Taylor, 10-yard touchdown, we up 7-0. Something like that. Like, then things click differently. But when you just go out and say, hey, quarterback, go win it, that's tough unless you are elite, right? Like, the elite ones can go win it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like our guys are not elite. So having that better defense definitely boosts him. But I like where Anthony is, even though they're like, oh, well, he's still had all the, problems that he had last year. Like, he looks different. He's more confident. Even in the shoulder injury, who's the main guy still out there being a team player? Like, that matters to me. That fucking matters to me. Like, he's sitting there hype as hell for Daniel Jones. That matters, bro. Because if he was sitting here slumped over and not caring at 23 years old, his career is probably cooked.
Yeah, but I think it's just gonna be tough because, like I said, it's just this is, and like I said, I think this is another reason why minicamp matters, because for somebody like Anthony Richardson, who has to still very much prove himself every step of the way, because he has to prove that he can remain healthy, but he can also prove that he's pulled it together and all the mechanics work and all the things that we talked about previously have actually, I'm going to say, made a drastic improvement to his game. That's the stuff that he has to prove. And that's the stuff that you can start to prove in training camp. It's just like when you see those first initial passes that he was throwing, he's throwing in just, t-shirts and whatever, but you see that there was some of those footwork things, squaring his body, the posture, how he was throwing, where he was throwing to. Like, those things were evident during that time.
All matters.
So it's not to say that no, he just can't improve. He was showing improvement, but once again, why is the reason why he's not out there right now? And it's because of the same reasons that he hasn't been there, or he didn't play towards the end of last season. And it's the reason why he didn't get a full off season last season either, because of injury.
But I'm giving him grace because his injury isn't just, oh man, it's back. Like he put in a ton of work leading up to this.
Yeah.
And literally the injury is, hey man, you have overworked the shoulder. Like what? Like you have done too much actually. Like slow it down and rest it. And so there's good and bad to that. Yes, quarterback throwing shoulder, always a scary, idea to go into any season thinking, what if he can't hold up? But the fact that he's put in the work, he started working with people, he changed a lot of things about himself, kind of went silent, did the work, that matters too. So I'm giving him grace. So I would have loved to see him complete the whole week. But you know what? Rest up and we'll see you at the end of July. And come out there and kill it. Simple as that. Simple as that. That's how I see this, going forward. But with Daniel Jones showing that he can move the rock, I think we live in a time, though. This is what's so funny about fan bases, and I can only pick on us. We live in a time where our premeditated thoughts about something will actually truly affect truth and outcomes. So if Danny ends up starting, Colts get out to a hot start. Let's say they 3-0, 4-0. He's playing good ball, averaging 250 a game, couple TDs, no picks. People will still be talking about him as a giant because they can't let go of the fact that they didn't want him here. That's just how it works, man. And that's what I said. Like, that's why we're so pessimistic. Like, we got to let some of that go, man. This is a new start for him.
Not necessarily. I don't care about that. I care about what I have seen. Okay? That's it. Now, if he was coming out the other way and he had great years in New York, great. That's what I'd be calling out.
But why would he be here then? See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But sometimes you need
because he sucked.
That's not true, though, man. That's not true. Bro.
Where are those stats?
There's
somebody please pull up his stats.
They're not
in New York.
They're not terrible, though.
They're 2 steps ahead of AR.
No, man, you're being absolutely ridiculous right now. Facetious.
No, maybe it's that light on your microphone that's throwing me off.
That's crazy.
Because something's about to beam you up or something.
Let me go look at Daddy. You're insane right now.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm not doing this.
So Daniel Jones, for his career, at 70 games, he has Jesus, that was awful. He has a career QB record of 24, 44, and 1. He has a completion percentage of 64%.
Pretty damn good.
And then he has 14,582 yards, 6.5 yards per average, yards per attempt, and then 70 touchdowns and 47 interceptions.
More touchdowns than picks. 64%.
Okay, great. He still sucks. That's why they cut him mid-season. If he was such a damn good quarterback that we can put all our hopes and dreams on, why did New York cut him mid-season?
I didn't say any of that. I said I feel like fresh start, new place, and by no means am I a Daniel Jones fan. By any cut of the
I bet you got a tattoo of his face on your backside.
Yeah, first off, you're being
that's crazy.
like we might have to ban you from the channel for a while because this shit you're being absolutely egregious tonight with your commentary. But no, all I'm simply stating is.
Oh, by the way, he also has 50 fumbles. He also has 50 fumbles for his career too.
50.
Let's
give him a chance.
Hold on, wait, time out. Time out. Let's chill out. He has 50 fumbles. How many are lost? I don't even care. That's an obnoxious number.
You're regretting that tattoo.
It shows
now,
50.
Are you?
So I'm. I'm just saying.
That's obnoxious.
It's showing. Hey,
You break
he's in what year? 7 the following year. 6. 4. So technically, while he does have 70 touchdowns passing, can you hear me?
Yeah, you were going.
Can you hear me now?
You were going ham for a little bit. You're back.
Oh yeah, I don't know what.
and now you're going ham again.
Yeah, he froze.
Hey. All right.
How, Chief Wiggum?
What happened?
Listen.
You need to restart.
This thing is.
You need to restart.
Yeah, I'm restarting.
Go away. Come back. Okay, you. Me and you.
But I'm telling you though, I don't like him. But if he's on the field, I'm going to cheer for him. But from what I've seen in his career, he gives me no positive vibes to expect that he's going to do anything different here. And yes, Teresa, he probably does have a better O-line here. But the New York team was not that damn bad.
Oh, they were terrible. Stop this.
They were not that bad. Pull up who he had on that. He had Shaquan Barkley.
Okay, and
come on.
And the whole NFL knew they had Saquon. That was a whole offense.
Yeah.
They had no offensive line.
And the whole NFL knew Jalen Hurts had Shaquan last year too.
Yeah, but the Eagles are something else. The Eagles' whole team.
You got an excuse for everything.
No, the Eagles.
Like, what I'm saying is if he's on the field, he will get my cheers. But until he proves that he can be better than he was in New York, he's not getting a pass from me. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I'm not just throwing out my fandom just because he's here. Because I seen him in New York. I seen him suck ass. You can't get it from me, Clyde. I'm not going to do it.
Thank you, Teresa.
Now, if he wins us the Super Bowl, I'll recant it all on air.
I don't want you to recant it. I want you to still be the same big bald head crazy person that you are now.
Because I told you I will cheer for him. I want him to do well if he's the quarterback. But my thing is, and this is just to go all the way back for everything that you were saying, he hasn't done anything in his career to instill that confidence in me that he can be the guy. That's it. That's basically all I'm really saying.
Okay, let's make the sandwich right now. Okay, well, this is the base layer. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to our fandom, right? This is the base layer. Anthony hasn't done anything either, and everybody has been on him since he was drafted and said he wasn't the one, he didn't have enough experience, blah, 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 blah. And like you, they also said, well, I am a Colts fan first, so I'll cheer. But they're cheering with a sour heart. Like, oh, I don't care if this guy even, finished the season. I wish they cut this bum. But I'm a Colts fan. Like, you can't kind of go into it.
There might be fans out there like it, but that's not me.
You just said you don't like the guy, but you'll cheer because he's
what does that look like? He hasn't done anything in his career to install confidence in me that he's the guy.
What has Anthony done to install confidence in you that he's the guy? Yep. Well, and moving on. Segue. And I'm an Anthony guy.
I want to answer this question because there is a valid answer there. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. But what I have seen from him, I truly believe we can build on it and make him that guy and get him up and get him to speed. He can be that guy. I see that he has the potential to be the guy. I don't see Danny having that potential to be the guy. That's just my perspective.
And I'm going to take it kind of a step further. We have been a perennial, outside of the AR draft, we've been a perennial 14 to 17, 18 draft spot, right?
Yeah, we talked about that. And
so the crazy thing about it is that if AR is good, I think he has the potential to be able to get over the hump and get us over the hump, right? If he's not, then we know that he's just not going to be the guy. And we know that we're potentially just going to be in line to go ahead and draft our next quarterback. We can just call it what it is. It is what it is. But the problem that I'm having with this whole Daniel Jones situation is that Daniel Jones has shown you that your ceiling with him is maybe going to be around 10 wins. But this team, if for some reason Daniel Jones doesn't deliver, this team, because of the makeup of the team, because of the talent that you have on this team, I'm going to say at worst could probably be like a 7-8 win team. You're drafting right at that position again. And now you're having to go into this draft, no matter how deep it could potentially be at quarterback, having to draft a guy where you know for a fact you might be able to draft a guy who has the experience that you can go ahead and possibly plug from day one. Or with the position that you're in, you may have to draft a guy who's a little bit raw, has some things they need to clean up, but is still going to go ahead and need some work. So you're essentially, by being as mid as you can possibly be, putting yourself in the exact same position you are right now with AR, just maybe with a little bit more experience and a little bit more polish, but still being somebody who may not be that guy who's just a day one, I'm going to say a day one fix for that QB issue that we've seen has been a continuous issue for God knows how long.
And here's where I am with this, because I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but look, I'll say this. I think Cam Ward is probably the last of the few that will have a story of football was my dream. These kids are getting paid too much money now. You got the Nico situation, what happened in Tennessee, the whole time. Like, what I'm getting at is these kids don't have to grind like they used to make to the NFL. They're getting paid hand over fist coming out of high school, sometimes in high school. And so saying that they're going to be the next franchise guy, that is a roll of absolute luck in dice. Cam Ward has a very humbling story. Not recruited heavily, went to Incarnate Word, worked his tail off, went to 3 different colleges, whatever, ended up in Miami, great season, overall number 1 draft pick. He might be the last with a humbling true story of this is my journey to the NFL. The rest of these guys is just collecting checks so they get to the NFL. And then you're going to give them the keys to the castle and good luck. I don't want that anymore. I'd rather get second-term quarterbacks on their second, contract and didn't really get a chance to play. I'll take that all day until the NCAA fixes their problem. NCAA has a problem. So that's my take on that. I don't want no more of these. I don't want none of these kids. Honestly.
Well, I think you're gonna, but you see, and I get what you're saying in regards to the check with the NIL deals and everything, but there are people who are going to, in my opinion, who are going to buck that trend. I think Lenore Sellers, just reading about him and his story today, he was offered NIL money to leave South Carolina. His pop said, no, you got to honor your commitment. You committed to South Carolina, so you're going to stay there. And then it's like rejecting an $8 million a day. And the thing is, it's the things that we're not going to hear about that I think are going to be the things that are going to be most telling. Because while they are paying checks, while they are paying all these guys to do that, there are guys out there who are going to have to grind. There's a lot of players in the NFL today who had to come from not being recruited very highly. Like, I think Devontae Adams was one of them where he wasn't recruited highly, and he ended up going to Green Bay. Mind you, this is a guy that Devontae Adams wasn't even a name coming out of the draft. He didn't pop off until his year 2, year 3.
Fair, so, but I mean, we're talking about a 10, 12-year guy now at that point. A whole different dynamic. But so, for instance, take college football playoffs last year. Yep. What big name quarterback from the playoffs is drafted high in the midst of greatness or whatever? You look at old boy. They were glazing him, Ohio State quarterback. He get drafted in what, round 6? Yep. He stinks. He stinks. I don't care how good
just
he
won
played.
The national championship.
Yeah, but that's the point. He was serviceable for what they needed. That doesn't make him great. You know what I'm saying? You look at what's the other kid? Riley Leonard. That's who they played. Serviceable. Now let's stop being crazy here. Like we wanna believe in guys. Riley Leonard is not a starting quarterback in the NFL. Stop this. The Colts fan base got to chill the hell out. Let's relax. Let's take some, I don't know, let's go woosah. But let's stop acting like you give Riley Leonard the keys tomorrow and, oh, man, we got us one.
Man, but but the thing is also we can't always go according to that. Like we're not gonna act like we didn't have drafts where you had quarterbacks, where you had 4 to 5 quarterbacks, and then you're going to tell me at the same time, like we didn't see drafts where we saw Kenny Pickett go in the first round, or like we didn't see Geno Smith and EJ Manuel being the only viable quarterback options in drafts when you just had Caleb Williams, Drake May. You had what's the face? Dang, I always forget his name. But no, not JJ McCarthy. No. Well, I think it was JJ. No, it wasn't JJ McCarthy. Oh no, it was JJ. Yeah, JJ McCarthy. But then you also had what's his face? Jaden Daniels. Like we didn't have like 5 to 6 quarterbacks in the draft. So the thing is, I mean, I don't know. Like we've seen where quarterbacks don't just come out in every single draft. Like we've seen that before.
Facts. But I'm saying, like, you gotta look at the landscape of college football. It's not designed to build programs anymore. That's why Nick Saban is now a commentator, and other coaches have stepped away because they don't have the opportunity to build a program anymore. It's plug and play. Literally, you're turning over sometimes 30% at a minimum to some schools. 50% of your roster. Like look at like when Deion went to Colorado, that was like a 70% turnover. So what I'm saying is these kids are just coming out there and running 7-on-7 plays, bro, and the rest of the team is good enough to go far. They haven't learned anything about leading a team, number one. They haven't learned anything about reading defenses. Like, what are we talking about? So college football is actually, though they're independent of the NFL, but they're actually disservicing the NFL right now because they're not giving you kids that are ready.
They're disservicing them kids.
Facts, but they're getting paid, so they don't care.
And you're 100% right. During the draft, you heard multiple GMs talking about how they like the kids that decide to stay there. Chris Ballard was one that talked about Warren staying at Penn his whole time.
They learn how to play the game. They learn how to play football because the athleticism and the talent that you have coming out of high school is supposed to be nurtured and developed when you're in college. But it gets fast forwarded, and then you don't like the situation. You don't want to sit. You don't want to wait. They offer you money. You go there. You look good because the scheme is good. You get paid. You get paid again, and then you enter the draft. And now what? You know what I'm saying? Go be great.
Now you're behind the curve.
That's my point.
Yep.
That's why I don't want to. No, I don't want any of these kids.
And look back at the draft before the NIL stuff came out. A lot of teams would draft heavy on pro style programs.
My point exactly.
Yep, 100%.
And
regardless how well they did, they knew those kids are coming in 5 steps ahead of the other kids that won the national championship, but they're not in a pro style offense. They know their curve is a lot steeper than the other kids.
Big facts. And the NFL has exacerbated the problem because there's a lot of the college game that's starting to trickle into the league. You know what I mean? Like, some of the new dynamics on offense and, the creativity and all that. So you want an RPO style, all this other stuff. So it kind of gives those kids like this like false like sense of, oh, okay, well, I fit in this because I ran the RPO in college. Cool. But you also are looking at NFL players where they're as fast as you are. You're also looking at NFL players that are double the strength of the guys that you remember tackling you, when you're in college. And so the game doesn't translate for them. You know what I mean? And then they just are burnout. But I feel like you have to be patient. There's too many win now situations in the NFL, and then you get those guys who get washed out in a franchise is starting over too soon, in my opinion. Like Anthony Richardson was a project. What does that project look like? To me, it was a full 2-year sit. A full 2-year sit.
Yeah.
Complete 2-year sit, right? Maybe some spot duty here and there, but a full 2-year sit. Unroll him right now where he's at right now, year 3. This should be like the coming out party. Like, all right, you have studied, you went through the ups and downs, you haven't had to feel that pressure, but you understand how the game is played now. You have been our preseason quarterback, so you've gotten your reps there. You might have had to do some spot duty, might have used you on some
hey, come in and run this play real quick type shit. Cool. But now it's your show. So if anybody screwed the pooch, it was management. It was leadership trying to fit the bill too quick. But it is what it is now. You can't undo that. You can only build off of what it is now. And so now it sounds nuts. Anthony Richardson might not be a great quarterback if he's ever to be one until he's 26 years old.
Yeah, no,
because he's behind the power curve.
Yeah, and because if for some reason he doesn't succeed here, he's going to go somewhere else and he's going to be a backup. He's going to be a backup. And the crazy thing, he's going to get the chance to sit. I'm calling it now. If for some reason he ends up not being the Colts quarterback moving forward, expect a team like Minnesota, expect a team like Pittsburgh to grab him up ASAP. Because what's going to happen is they understand that here's this guy who has this potential that is all the way up to here, but we know that he did not get developed properly. So now you're going to be able to sit. You're going to have the opportunity to sit and learn and do what you need to do, as opposed to being thrown out there the way that he was thrown out there by this organization, who should have taken the time, because you know for a fact that you have 4 years, even 5 total, to be able to go and say, you know what, we can go and we can afford to have this time. We went 9-8 with Gardner Minshew. And not only that, but you keep Gardner Minshew for 2 years or 3 years even maybe, and then you decide that this year is AR's year coming up, you're on the money.
Should have ran it right back. We did that twice. We screwed the poops twice because we should have ran it right back with Phillip Rivers. He wanted to come back.
Try.
He just made the playoffs. Now he didn't try.
That was Phillip's call. That was
he also had another kid after that. So I mean,
no. That was more on Chris Ballard. Go back and listen to that presser. Like, he wanted to come back. Phillip wanted to come back. And it was like, the playoff game wasn't that great. He was throwing lofty, balls up in Buffalo, couldn't rip it. That was more of that. Go back and listen, because he wanted to come back. So I say that to just say we're where we are now. So knowing where you are now, all you can do from that is, I'm telling you, you got to have the blinders that horses wear. You got to have earmuffs. Like, you can't listen to the pressure around you. But somebody brought up a good point. With the girls now in charge after Mr. Irsay's passing away, that might step up Anthony's game. That might, change the dynamic of leadership in the front office. A lot of things may happen. But I'm telling you right now, and I don't want to feel this in the pit of my stomach. Lord, we have lost a lot of good players over the years, primarily on the defensive side of the ball, that went other places, had great careers. I do not want to see Anthony Richardson at 26, 27 years old. He's got it now. And they're like, wow, Coach screwed that one. Because all the people doing the biggest talk right now will be the same people acting like they didn't say the same stuff years ago. You know how that works with the national media? They kill me with that. The same people that ripped him for doing this, tapping his head, all this other stuff. Oh, he took a knee. Oh, he's so unprofessional. He's not ready. 5-6 years from now, and he's 27 years old, 28 years old. He's in the right system, the right place. He knows how to play ball, and he's killing it. And that team that he's on is a constant, playoff contender, deep runs, maybe go to the Super Bowl, something like that. They'll pretend like they never said it. And us as Colts fans will be sitting here looking stupid as shit because we're like, oh, that was her gun. We messed up. Oh, I don't know what's worse. Getting Andrew Luck beat to the dirt and having his career cut short, or not having patience with maybe, the most athletic, most gifted quarterbacks to ever lace him up once he figured out how to play. Oh, look at us. And we still looking for the next, I don't know, Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
It's time to wrap this shit up. Y'all done angered me. I'm not happy.
No, you angered yourself, sir.
Yeah, you angered yourself. That you did that.
Yeah, that's all you. That's your
Sammy,
doing.
bring up these damn Twitter handles, man. I'm not doing this. I'm not okay.
You can find me at Big P Colts, the greatest Twitter handle ever.
Still the worst shit that's out there.
Ever.
Or
Hey,
X
man.
handle.
Let's
Twitter.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's get this together.
Did he just make an X with his arms?
Did he?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sammy, cue to Omaha, please.
Don't do it, Sammy.
Yes, please and thank you. Omaha! Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, so here's the deal. By the start of the season, you have to have a new handle, or else we're not going to put your handle up. It's been voted upon as DEI.
Yeah, didn't you just spent 20-something years defending the Constitution?
Don't matter.
And the Constitution is free speech, something like that. I think like the first line of the Constitution.
Depends on what part of the country you're in. That's
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I see where you're going. However, it's
dark. It's dark over there. Don't go over there. It's dark.
It's the plumbing. It's the plumbing. Pineapples. I need the adult.
CJ, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CJ Colts fan.
And you can find me on X, not the drug, at Colts Clyde.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's nonsense, right? Sammy, go ahead and put our handle up there, please. Or maybe not. But you can find us on X, not the drug, and Sick Pod Colts. On X, not the drug. On X, not the drug. Any announcements before we get out of here?
Yes, you can hear this recording on z103.com tomorrow and every Wednesday, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard, 11 a.m. Central, and whatever other time zones there are because whatever. And also make sure that you're tuning in on Mix 105. And then also, can we please bring up the Visit Indy QR code? Making sure everybody that's visiting visits Visit Indy for all your attractions, everything going on in Indianapolis and possible surrounding areas, whatever it may be that qualifies Indianapolis. But yeah, you know the vibes. Either way, definitely use that QR code, download the app, and yeah, get registered.
Real quick, to my Pacer fans, we're not dead in the water yet. Remember last year against the Knicks, we're down 2-3 as well, had to win Game 6 here in Indy. And had to go do the unthinkable and win Game 7 in the Garden, and we did just that. It's not over yet.
Yeah, but you are floating quite lifelessly, so you got to see exactly how this goes.
And then we're going to excommunicate him from the show. Okay? Then
spell it.
Excommunicate.
Spell
CJ
it.
Gone.
Mm.
That's how you spell it.
Still spelled it wrong, and that's okay. That's okay. Pinky ring finger. That's fine. Like we ain't going on.
This guy with the rasp.
All right, get out of here. Y'all getting silly.
No, you're getting sleepy, old man. You've been over there yawning 3 to like this is you trying to fake it. No, we know you're yawning.
How many times do we have to teach you the same lesson, old man?
Okay, I haven't yawned once tonight.
You've been fighting it like hell.
That's
because I make some damn good gummies.
Okay, yeah. On that note, we're gonna
as our local drug pusher tells us he makes good gummies. Jesus Christ!
Oh, I make the best, baby.
Sammy, take us home.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.